One of the things I learned pretty quickly upon entering seminary was that prayer is not always easy. I thought, I'd enter seminary, I'd become a priest very soon, and prayer would just come supernaturally. It would always be, happy smiles and quite easy. But a few years in, when I was studying abroad in Rome, prayer was very difficult for me. It was hard to sit there for an entire hour. It was hard to sit there in silence, right? Just saying nothing and seemingly hearing nothing. But nonetheless, I powered through. I sat there, I knew the Lord would bring me through it, and I knew that's where He wanted me to be in that moment, right? I also have this belief in our faith that, prayers can be difficult sometimes, but another positive one is that God gives us saints, that there's all these saints in heaven, and of course you could reason that some of them were pretty similar to us. They might have had the same interests, same talents, or maybe even same struggles. And one of those saints for me is Saint Faustina. So again, those first few years of seminary, I really knew nothing about her. I'd heard of her, but didn't know much, didn't read much about her. But sure enough, a few years in, and especially when I was abroad in Rome, she entered powerfully and perfectly at the right moment into my life. So as I said, I was kind of struggling with prayer, and I just picked up her diary that she wrote. You could still buy it today. It's called just The Diary of Saint Faustina. And I flipped open to a certain page, I think it was paragraph 268, and I just started reading. And it was about her, how she did a holy hour in her convent in Poland. And it was difficult. It was terribly painful. She could barely form a prayer, and she was just suffering, even physically so. And so what did she do, the saint that she is? She's like, I'll just do a second holy hour. So she went right from the first one into the second. And she was there for 2 hours in silence praying. And lo and behold, the second hour was more difficult than the first. And so what'd she do? She got permission from her mother superior, and she did a third holy hour, this time on her knees with her arms stretched out in the shape of a cross. Just the same, so much more difficult. By this time, it's like almost 11, 12 p.m. And at the end of it all, with the 5 minutes remaining, she took off her wedding ring, which oftentimes nuns or sisters wear as a symbol of their unity, their marriage to Christ. She put it in her palm, and she offered it to the tabernacle, where Jesus was dwelling in front of her. And in that moment, Jesus appeared to her as if He would have looked, having just been scourged, before He would have been crucified in His passion. And He looked her right in the eyes, His gazing piercing to her heart, to her soul. And He said to her, "The bride must resemble her betrothed." And then He disappeared. And she just realized in that moment that the Lord wanted her to be in that suffering. It was a struggle, but it wasn't a struggle for naught. It was a struggle with Jesus, for Jesus, uniting her to His passion. It just gave me this beautiful insight that, prayer is not always easy, but it doesn't mean the Lord's not there. It doesn't mean He's abandoned you. In fact, it means He's actually more united to you than perhaps He has ever been. So I encourage you, ask the Lord, do you want to send me a saint? Is there someone in heaven that could really intercede for me and help me grow closer to you, grow closer to being a saint? Saint Faustina, pray for us.